All right, so let's dive into this FA Cup match. Arsenal and Manchester United at the Emirates. Going in, I think everyone knew. The stakes were high. I mean, a classic rivalry. One of football's most historic tournaments. But what we didn't know was just how wild this match would get. Red cards, a missed penalty, a shootout. It had it all.
Yeah, you said it. This match really became a story of two halves for me. That first half, it was like a tactical chess match, almost subdued in a way. You could just feel the tension in the air.
Oh, absolutely. It felt like both teams were kind of feeling each other out, Arsenal with that possession-based style of theirs, trying to control the tempo. But Manchester United's defense was holding strong. Were you surprised at all by how compact and organized United's backline was?
Not entirely. It seemed like their manager had done his homework. He knew that giving Arsenal space, that'd be a recipe for disaster. They just clogged the passing lanes, forced Arsenal to take those low percentage shots from distance.
Yeah, and that brings us to, I think, the turning point of the match. Diogo Dalot's red card. Early in the second half for that challenge on Mikel Merino. I mean, that completely changed the complexion of the game, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. You could feel the momentum shift in the Emirates. Suddenly, Arsenal had the man advantage.
Yeah.
And you could see them really trying to exploit that space, created by Dalot's absence.
But then, completely against the run of play, Manchester United scores. Bruno Fernandes, with that sublime curling effort that leaves Ramsdale completely rooted to the spot.
A moment of brilliance from Fernandes, no doubt. But it also speaks to United's resilience.
Yeah.
Their ability to capitalize on those few opportunities they were given.
Yeah, it was a real gut punch for Arsenal. They were dominating possession, creating chances, but just couldn't find a way through. And then, almost out of nowhere, they're trailing by a goal.
And that's where the mental side of the game comes in, How do you respond to that kind of setback? How do you maintain composure when things aren't going your way?
Well, to Arsenal's credit, they didn't let their heads drop. Just minutes later, they equalized through a stunning volley from Gabriel. The Emirates erupted. Pure ecstasy for the Arsenal faithful. But even then, you sensed this wasn't going to be a straightforward victory for them.
Right. You could sense the match had become a battle of attrition, a test of wills. Each team was determined to not give an inch. And that intensity led to, I think, the next flashpoint. The penalty incident involving...
Let's break that down. Havertz goes down in the box under a challenge from Maguire. Referee points to the spot, awards Arsenal a penalty. The stadium erupts. But there's also this collective gasp, like a sense of disbelief that this match had taken yet another dramatic turn.
And then the chaos. A melee breaks out. Players from both sides getting involved. Yellow cards are flying everywhere. It was a pressure cooker situation. And you could see it was starting to get to the players.
It definitely felt like a boiling point in the match. All that pent-up frustration, all those near misses, it all seemed to spill over in that moment. And it had a direct impact on the next pivotal moment of the match. Martin Odegaard's penalty.
Oh, man. You just have to imagine the weight of the world on Odegaard's shoulders. As he steps up to take that penalty, the score is level. The tension is palpable. And here he is, the captain, with a chance to put his team ahead in the dying minutes of the match.
And he doesn't convert. Bayindir guesses correctly, dives to his left, makes a spectacular save. I can't even imagine the emotional roller coaster for Arsenal fans at that moment, from the elation of winning the penalty to the agony of seeing it missed, all within the span of a few heartbeats.
Yeah, a defining moment, not just for Odegaard, but for both teams. For Arsenal, a missed opportunity, a chance to seize control of the match that had slipped through their fingers. For Manchester United, a sign that despite being a man down, they were still very much in this fight.
So we head into extra time. Arsenal still with the man advantage, pushing hard for a winner. They're creating chances. But Bayindir is having the game of his life. What stood out to you about Arsenal's approach in extra time?
I mean, they were relentless, no doubt. But I noticed a sense of urgency that perhaps wasn't there in the second half. Their passing was quicker, their movement more direct. They were clearly trying to exploit the tiring legs of those Manchester United defenders.
You got to give credit to United. They defended heroically, blocked shots, cleared crosses, threw their bodies on the line. They were playing with a level of grit and determination that you don't always see from a team that's been reduced to 10 men.
Absolutely. And that resilience was personified by Bayindir in goal. He made save after save, commanding his area with authority. I mean, he was the rock that Manchester United's defense was built on. Without him, I doubt they would made it to the penalty shootout.
And what a shootout it was. The tension was almost unbearable. You could see it in the faces of the players, the coaches, even the fans in the stands. Every penalty kick felt like a life or death situation.
It was fascinating to watch the psychological battle unfold, each player stepping up to the spot. knowing that the fate of their team rested on their shoulders.
We saw some perfectly placed penalties, both sides converting with nerves of steel. But the tide really turned when Havertz stepped up for Arsenal, and once again was denied by Bayindir.
Man, that save felt like a knockout blow for Arsenal. The air seemed to go out of their sails. You could see the doubt creeping into their minds, while Manchester United players were growing in confidence with each passing moment.
And then it all came down to Joshua Zirkzee, young striker, who would only come on as a substitute in extra time.
Yeah, what impressed me most about Zirkzee was his composure. He walked up to the spot with an almost casual confidence that belied his age and relative inexperience.
He sent Ramsdale the wrong way, calmly slotted the ball into the net, and that was it. Manchester United had won the shootout, and with it, a place in the next round of the FA Cup.
A victory snatched from the jaws of defeat, a testament to their resilience, their tactical discipline, and the sheer brilliance of their goalkeeper. For Arsenal, a bitter pill to swallow. They had dominated for large stretches of the match, but ultimately paid the price for their missed opportunities.
Which brings up a thought that's been swirling in my head this entire match. How much does luck play a role in football? I mean, you look at the statistics. Arsenal had more possession, more shots, more corners. But at the end of the day, the only statistic that matters is the scoreline.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of football and the cruelty of it. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, things just don't go your way. A missed penalty, a brilliant save from the keeper, a crucial decision that goes against you. These are the fine margins that can determine the outcome of a match.
It's interesting you mentioned the opposition goalkeeper. Altay Bayindir, what a performance. He was absolutely immense for Manchester United. Do you think his performance goes beyond just the shot stopping? Did his presence impact the game in a more intangible way?
Oh, absolutely. His confidence just seemed to grow with every save. You could see it in his body language, the way he commanded his penalty area. And that confidence seemed to transmit to his teammates, especially the defenders in front of him. They knew they had a reliable last line of defense, and that allowed them to play with more freedom and aggression.
It's almost like he was a calming presence for Manchester United, especially after they went down to 10 men. He provided that sense of stability when everything else around him seemed to be in chaos.
Exactly. That's the mark of a truly great goalkeeper. It's not just about making saves. It's about inspiring your teammates, about being a leader on the pitch. And Bayindir, despite his relative lack of experience, showed all those qualities in this match.
This match also highlighted the importance of tactical flexibility, wouldn't you say? The way Manchester United adapted to the red card, shifting their formation, absorbing pressure, and hitting Arsenal on the counterattack. It was a masterclass in pragmatism.
It really was. Yeah. And it speaks volumes about the tactical acumen of their manager. You know, he didn't panic when they went down a man. He made some decisive substitutions, adjusted their game plan, and instilled this belief in his players that they could still win this match.
So where do both teams go from here? For Arsenal, this is a tough loss to take.
Yeah.
They were the favorites. They had the man advantage for most of the match, but they couldn't get the job done. How do they bounce back from this?
I think it's important for them to not overreact to this defeat. They're still a very good team.
Yeah.
And they've shown throughout this season that they're capable of playing some brilliant football. They need to analyze this match, learn from their mistakes, and move on. The key is to not let this one loss derail their entire season.
And for Manchester United, this victory could be a real turning point. They showed character, resilience, and a level of tactical discipline that we haven't seen from them consistently this season. Could this be the catalyst for a strong run of form?
It certainly has the potential to be. This win could give them the confidence and the momentum they need to really kickstart their season. But they need to build on this performance. They can't afford to rest on their laurels. The challenge now is to replicate this level of intensity and focus in their upcoming matches.
Well, this deep dive has been a roller coaster of emotions, from tactical analysis to penalty drama to the emergence of a young hero in Joshua Zirkzee. And I think it's a great reminder of why we love this sport. It's unpredictable, it's passionate, and it's full of stories that unfold right before our eyes.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what makes football so captivating. It's a game of moments, a game of emotions, and a game that can unite and divide us in equal measure.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into this incredible FA Cup match. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep the conversations going.